Hi everyone, it's Nikki from Polkadoodles again. I am going to just do a little short video. I was asked by a few people who watched the videos that I made of our latest die release for Winnie for these dies, which are absolutely stunning. And on there I actually showed you, I said that you could actually draw the faces on Winnie if you wanted to. So I'm going to show you how to just do that, just to make it really uber easy so that you know there's nothing complicated. So in case you didn't see the other video, it is there on YouTube. These are, for the moment, three brand new dies to actually create these gorgeous little girl characters, which we call Winnie. This is our character Winnie. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's not going to be really long. I don't want it to be really long and convoluted, but if I can, I might show you how to actually just colour her as well. So just to explain, on the actual die sets here, these eyes are actually included in the die. So as you can see, they're really, really tiny pieces, and they are quite fiddly. One thing, there are a couple of tools that I really recommend if you're going to use these dies, and they are these here in front of me. So basically, you're going to need a Zig two-way glue pen, or a quickie glue pen would work perfectly fine, but I actually prefer the Zig. You're going to want some good tweezers. You're going to want a pokey tool, and also I have this little pickup tool, which I don't know if I know a lot of you will have these, but some of you might not have seen it before. So this is like it's like got like a rubber end to it, but and what it does is it kind of like just has a really low tack on it, but you can if it gets dirty, you just rub it off, or you just wet it a little bit and the sticky comes back, and it's just enough to pick things up. So it's really good for like picking up gems and things like that. And a lot of jewellery makers use these for picking up little tiny gems and diamantes and stuff. And this will prove really, really invaluable, because look, if I actually put that on her eye, it's just kind of enough to pick those little tiny pieces up. And what I find is that kind of like trying to work two-handed kind of works for me, but I know not everybody can do that. So just use whatever, you know, is good for you. But as you can see, these eyes are really small, and so what I found when I first started die cutting and using these dies was I use a Fiskars fuse, and so I have a rubber black mat that I have to use with my fuse that the dies actually press into, and that mat gets distorted, and so I found that I kept losing all the eyes, and it wasn't anything to do with the die or anything I was doing, it's just the way that it was coming out of the machine. So on some of them, if I was in a rush, I just kind of literally drew the eyes on just with a black pen, but you know, it's up to you, but I just wanted to sort of show you how easy that was. So on the dies, as you can see here, because someone actually asked me about the faces, and it's quite hard to pick up on here, but can you see how we actually have the eyes, so you've got two eyebrows, a nose and a mouth that's actually debossed. If I show it round, I don't know if you can really see it. I wonder if it's any better on a darker. There you go, you can see it a bit better on the darker card. So you've got your nose, the mouth, and then two eyebrows here. And I specifically put those on there for placement. Now I've done those debossed. I didn't want them embossed because, to be honest, when they're embossed, they kind of like look a bit weird, and I really didn't like it. So we actually got the factory to change it and actually make it debossed. And it was more so that you had a position on the actual character, on the face itself, that you could then do what you want with. So it's really, really easy. And what you're going to need, my recommendation is a fine liner pen, like this, with a nib like this, okay? So just one of these really nice fine pens, or a really fine ballpoint pen would work perfectly well. And this size is a 0.1, look, and that size is perfect, and it gives you a really nice fine line. So if I just show you here, you know, you can see how fine that actually is. If you do it with anything thicker than that, it's going to start to look a bit rubbish, to be quite honest. So what I do, and I'm hoping you're going to be able to see this on the video, I've tried to position the video so my hand isn't in the way, but all you're going to do is just take that pen and just find those lines, so those debossed lines, and it actually guides your pen. So it's not hard to do at all. Look, it just literally guides, and you should get a perfect, just be really light-handed with it. Don't be pressing right in. You're not trying to draw Picasso here. We're just trying to actually make an outline. And then if you want to, just draw a little eye. And what I would do is, you want the eyes to be about the same size as these eyes, look. And if you want, you can either just black that out, or you can put a little highlight in. And with Winnie, if you want it to be a proper Winnie, she doesn't have round eyes. She has kind of like oblong eyes, which just give her a slightly different little character. And you can see that because the eyebrows are sort of slanted, your eyes kind of need to be slanted as well. I think what I might do is bring out a stamp on the next batch, so that you can actually stamp her face on there as well. And then obviously if you wanted to, you can then draw other things on her as well. So if you wanted to, you could make her some stripy tights. How cute. So just use a Sharpie, or just, you know, a black Copic, or whatever you've got, Spectrum Noir, whatever it is. You know, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. If you wanted to, it looks completely different with stripy tights. How cool. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could do her face with pencil if you want as well. And if you're not very confident, that might be quite a good idea to do that. So draw her face out with pencil and then maybe go over the top of it. So the other thing that I just wanted to show you as well was on mine here. I showed you before about actually colouring in here, and again that was really easy. So all I did was and you kind of need her hair. Now I haven't got any hair. Hold me a second while I grab some hair, and I'll just show you. So this is her hair. So basically, the way that I did this again, and again I would maybe do it with a pencil if you're not very confident. I got a really light Copic, Spectrum Noir, whatever it is you like to use, you know, we're not trying to teach anybody anything here. And then I just kind of like laid the hair into place roughly, and I used the very lightest colour that I was going to use and just lightly traced there, and I did just a little bit under her chin. And can you see how instantly that's kind of made her neck go back, and it just starts to bring her to life. And then because I've then got that outline there, I can actually start to colour. And you can do this after I made the mistake at first of actually gluing her hair on first before I started to do that. But what I found was that my hands weren't steady enough, and I kept actually catching the card on her hair, and I ended up making kind of like a bit of a boo-boo. But even just doing that one colour, look how that's kind of like starting to just give her a completely different dimension. So, and to give her rosy cheeks, I actually used R81 Copic, which is a nice soft pink. Please don't do cheeks like that, because if you do them like that and they've got a really hard line, it's hard to actually blend them out. I'm going to put a little tiny bit in the middle. I'm going to go back over that with my R81. That was actually, the darker colour was R83. And then I'm going to come back in with my E000 and actually blend that in. Now obviously you can do what you want with these. You know, you don't even have to colour them if you don't want to. I really like it. I think it looks really nice. And I just sort of think if you're one of those people that kind of like, you love to colour, but you feel like you're not all that good at it and you wish you were a bit better, this is kind of going to help you, I think, because look what we're doing. We're not doing anything difficult here at all. And you can actually just practice your colouring, and if you go wrong, just cut another one. It's not difficult, is it? Where are we? I'm going to just pick up my... This is R0000. Oops. Oh, look, I've just made that bleed a little bit, but never mind. Oh, she looks like she's crying now. But anyway, you get the idea. So I've stuffed that up. I'll have to make a new one, but never mind. I might make her look like she's crying a bit later on. But you can see if I put the hair on here now, look how it just completely brings her to life now, you know, and she just looks completely different. You know, again, if you wanted to, you could give her a stripy dress. You can do all sorts of things, can't you? Let's give her a little pink dress. So, you know, if you're doing something really, really quick, you know, maybe you've forgotten to cut something or you've lost it or whatever, and you've just got a spare Winnie Buddy hanging around. How cute is that? Yeah. Everyone can do that. It's really not difficult. Right, so I hope that helps you, for those of you that have been asking me questions, because a few of you have sort of said, can you show us how to do the faces? So I just thought I'd do that. Obviously, if you don't want to, just leave the faces plain. They're there to make it really quick, really easy, and you've got everything you need in the die pack. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.